was the last time you wrote a blog post? Last week? Last month? Last year? It's all too easy to let your blogging routine slide. You start off with good intentions of writing a blog post every week, but then one week you think, surely 1 week isn't going to make too much of a difference. And before you know it, 3 months have passed and your blog is growing cobwebs. But here's the thing, consistency is the key to successful blogging. Hi and welcome to the Productive Blogging YouTube channel. My name's Eb Gagano and today we're talking all about how to be a more consistent blogger. Tip number 1 is decide what consistent looks like to you, because if you don't know what consistent is, how do you know whether you're achieving it or not? Consistent could be writing a new blog post every week. It could be writing a new blog post once a fortnight or once a month. But if you don't decide for yourself what consistent is going to look like, it's so easy to feel like you're failing when really you're not. If your plan is only to write one blog post a month and you don't write a blog post for a whole month, that's okay because you're being consistent and you're sticking to the plan that you made yourself. If on the other hand you plan to write one blog post a week and you write one blog post a week, then yay, you're also being consistent because you're sticking to your plan. So tip number 1, work out what consistent is going to mean for you. Tip number 2 is make a commitment and stick to it. Literally write down, I am going to write a blog post every Friday at 9 a.m. or I am going to publish a blog post every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Whatever you have decided will be your publishing routine. Why do I suggest you do this? Because actually writing down your plan makes a big difference as to whether you'll stick to it and go through with it or not. There was actually a study done a few years back where participants were divided into groups, and one of the groups made a commitment to do more exercise, and the other group made a commitment to do more exercise, but they actually wrote their commitment down. And the results of that study were quite astonishing. The group that wrote their intentions down were more than twice as likely to follow through on their intention. So don't just make a plan about when you're going to publish a blog post, how often you're going to publish a blog post, and when exactly you're going to do that. Actually write it down and you're much more likely to stick to your plan. Tip number 3 is create a realistic schedule. It's no good saying, I'm going to publish a blog post at 9 a.m. every Friday, and then not also thinking about how you're actually going to make that happen. So let's say your plan is to publish a blog post every Friday. Work back from that. What are you going to need to do in the week leading up to that to make that publishing schedule happen? So for example, you might decide that on Monday you're going to do the research for your blog post. On Tuesday, you're going to write your first draft. On Wednesday, you're going to edit that draft. On Thursday, you're going to format it into a really good blog post with headings and pictures and make it into a proper blog post. And then on Friday, you're going to publish and you're going to promote that blog post. By creating that schedule, that plan, you are so much more likely to meet your goal, to achieve your goal of actually publishing on a Friday at 9 a.m. If you want a bit more help on that, check out my video on how to run a successful blog in just 1 hour per day. I literally walk you through step by step what you need to do each day in order to run a successful blog in just 1 hour per day. And this isn't just theory for me, this is actually pretty much what I do with my food blog, Easy Peasy Foodie. So I'll stick a link to that video in the description below. Okay, tip number 4 is turn that schedule into fixed appointments. What I mean is literally take that plan of Monday I'm going to do the research, Tuesday I'm going to write the first draft, Wednesday I'm going to edit the first draft, and actually put that into fixed appointments in your calendar. Literally open up your calendar app and type in those appointments and make them fixed, recurring appointments. So you see them every week, every Monday, you get a notification that pings up on your phone and tells you that today you need to write that or do that research, or Tuesday you need to write that first draft. and stick rigidly to those appointments. Stick with those appointments just like you would stick to an appointment with the dentist or the doctor. Tip number 5 is get real accountability. Now, a lot of people will suggest that you get an accountability buddy, and that's not a terrible idea at all. That's a great idea. But the problem with an accountability buddy is ultimately they don't actually mind that much whether you post your blog post or not. It doesn't really make all that much difference to them. And you know that. And you know that your accountability buddy is probably not going to be all that fussed if you don't publish a blog post. It's not going to have an impact on your accountability buddy's day. To get real accountability, to get the kind of accountability that you need to really stick to those fixed appointments that you've made for yourself, tell your readers when you're going to publish. Literally tell your readers, tell your followers, tell your subscribers, tell everybody when to expect a new blog post from you. If you do that, you will have real accountability because you know that your readers are expecting that blog post on Friday at 9 a.m. And if you don't deliver, they're going to be disappointed. That's real accountability. Tip number 6 is reward yourself. So you've heard of the carrot and stick, right? Well, if accountability was the stick, then rewards are the carrots. Whenever you publish a new blog post on schedule, reward yourself with a little treat. It doesn't have to be something expensive. It can just be like your favorite chocolate bar or a magazine or a bubble bath or whatever it is that would be a reward for you. Just something little to reinforce the idea that you've done a good thing. And there's something funny that goes on when you reward yourself like this. If you reward yourself every time you publish a new blog post, then you'll come to kind of almost associate the hard work of writing the blog post with your reward. And that will make you much more motivated to write that blog post because you know that the reward is coming. And tip number 7 is remind yourself why you are doing this. Remind yourself why you're writing each blog post. Probably for most of you, you're writing these blog posts because you want to grow your blog and you know that the more quality content that you have on your blog, the better your blog is going to do. And probably for most of you, you're doing this because you want some financial reward. You want to earn an income from your blog or you want to earn more money from your blog. Try and turn that into something properly tangible. What will that extra income mean? Will it mean, for example, that you can leave your full-time job and work on your blog full-time? Or will it mean that you can afford to buy a new car or go on a foreign holiday or maybe even buy a house? Whatever that thing is, try and make it super tangible. Like literally cut out some pictures of that thing from magazines and stick them on like a vision board, like stick them on a pin board above wherever it is that you write your blog. And then when you're writing your blog or when you sit down to write your blog, you can look at those pictures and just remember why you're doing this. I'm writing this blog post because one day I'll be able to go on that foreign holiday somewhere that I've always wanted to go. Or I'm writing this blog post because one day I will be able to afford to buy my own house, or I will be able to leave my 9-to-5 job that I hate. Or another way of doing this is to think about why you're doing this in terms of your audience. So why are you writing to your audience? What change are you going to make in their life? Think about what the difference that you can make in your readers' lives with each blog post that you write. Depending on your personality, you might find this even more motivating than just thinking about what you can get yourself. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did find it helpful, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And if you want a little bit of extra accountability, why don't you pop your plan to be more consistent down in the comments, and then I can cheer you on and encourage you in your quest to be a more consistent blogger. And I'll see you in the next video.